Welcome back to Shape to Live. I want to thank you for joining me for this video session. What I wanted to talk about, again, continuing in the vein of what we're going through now with this COVID-19 pandemic. Oftentimes you're hearing people talk about how this new normal has disrupted or changed their lives, and rightly so. But for me, I have to admit, on one hand, it has not changed a lot. I still come to work every day. I'm part of the essential workforce. Um, the part that has changed, everybody else is working from home. And that's fine with me. I actually enjoy being here by myself. It allows me to get a lot of things done without any extra disturbances, if you will. I also like the quiet of it. So for me, again, no big deal. Even my home life, this has not changed that much. The only way that it has changed is that I've had to be more careful with coming home because of my wife having been through radiation treatment. So her immune system is compromised. So that brings me to this point. And as you may have seen, I have on my, where's the emblem? There it is. My Marine Corps shirt. Yes, I am a United States Marine. We never say former. We always are Marines. My wife even tells me that I appreciate it probably more now that I'm out than when I did when I was there. And there's a lot of truth to that statement. But back to the point, it brings me to this right here, to where one of the phrases was improvise, adapt, and overcome. It was like a Marine mantra, because no matter what the situation was, you may have had a plan, but sometimes you had to improvise. And then in that improvisation, you oftentimes had to adapt to the situation or to the circumstances. But the ultimate goal was to overcome and achieve whatever your objective was. There was no failure when it came to a Marine performing his task. And so much so, like when we were in basic, it drilled into your mind that even if a Marine dies, because a Marine really does not die, he just goes to his next duty station, if you will. And we used to oftentimes laugh about, or even afterwards laugh about that. Well, when we die as Marines, we make the devil and those demons even more afraid, because we're the ones standing at heaven's gate. So with that said, that was a phrase that has stuck with me, because throughout my life, I've had to improvise, I've had to adapt, and I struggled with overcoming. And which brings us here to the COVID-19 issue and being on lockdown, as some people put it, where you can't go freely, you can't shop the way you want to, you're maybe not going to work to your job, you're working remotely, or you don't have a job, unfortunately, at all. So what do? You improvise. What that improvisation is different, maybe different for each individual person. And with that improvisation, what you're doing is you're adapting to your current situation. You're adapting your mindset to this current situation. And then you're looking at overcoming it. See, that's the key with it all. It's that hope in overcoming whatever the situation is. No matter what's happening in the circumstances, it's in the overcoming that gives us hope. It's the overcoming that these days won't last forever. It's in the overcoming that even though I may be out of a job right now, I may not be out of a job always, or that even while I'm out of this job, yet somehow, some way, I will be able to still pay my bills. I will still be able to put food on the table. I will still be able to make sure we continue to have clothes on our backs. That's what gives us that hope. Yes, our lives change some, because like I said, even though mine has not changed drastically, there were some things that I had to improvise on or adapt to. So like I said, with my wife's, with her compromised immune system. So when I leave work every day, besides doing the usual, having on your rubber gloves, your mask, and all of that, when I pull into the garage, I pull in, close the door, I walk over around my wife's car to get ready to go in the house. But before I go into the house, I have this box that sits on top of this little freezer that we have. And what I do is I take all of my bracelets, watch, belt, everything off, and everything as I'm taking it off gets sprayed with Lysol. And my jacket, I spray it with Lysol. So I'm basically stripping down in the garage before I even enter my home. And then once that's done, the clothes that I wore that day, I actually take, put into the dryer and run it on the antibacterial cycle, which runs for like an hour and 10 minutes to try and kill off anything in there before I even put those clothes into the dirty clothes hamper to be washed. So yes, it's a change. Yes, it's an improv. I have to improvise. I have to adapt. And because even after I do that, before I even greet my wife, I have to make sure I go get in the shower, get cleaned up, scrub from head to toe, then get myself all nice, fresh and clean and everything. Then I get to finally greet my wife and say, well, I can say hello, but I get to kiss her hello. Why? Because I don't want to compromise her. Because even though I'm healthy, even though I'm strong, as it has said, some people are maybe healthy and strong, but maybe carriers, or it could have been on my clothing or on my watch or my bracelet or anything like that. But in this case, it's worth it because of the overcoming. The overcoming is I continue to make sure that she has good health. The overcoming is that I'm even making sure that I have good health. The overcoming is that when it's all said and done, we're still okay. So as you're struggling through this, maybe you're doing well and just had a moment of doubt, moment of discouragement. I hope this will encourage you that no matter what, you just look to improvise, adapt, and overcome. And as always remember, you were not meant to just survive this life. You were shaped to live this life. Thanks for stopping by.